Hi there. Hey, you. Good morning, good evening, good night. Whichever part of the world you be, if you're lucky to see this recording here, this video, just know I'm wishing you good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon. I'll use Truman's catchphrase. Sorry, his catchphrase from the Truman Show. This catchphrase from the Truman Show, since I don't know, I'm probably on the Truman Show myself. Cheap theatrics and redundant stalking via they're using drones. They've been using drones and satellites and these boats. They use all kind of thing, and all that they've been using, they can't get one shit right. They can't do one thing that's good to benefit a just cause and compensate their victims, because they don't want to do that. They don't want to have witnesses. They don't want people coming forward and filing lawsuits against them. So what they do, they try the utmost best to have you killed, because they don't want someone coming forward and reporting them and showing proof of what they're doing. But these domestic terrorists and these religious groups, and these dirty cops, having immunity, and the local and shadow government, they don't want to have to compensate anyone whatsoever. You're placed in this program, and there's a lot of companies that are benefiting off of your backs. They're benefiting a lot. They use murder as a means to build up their companies now. And they try to make murdering individuals illegal. It's legal for them now. They're carrying out murders on a grand scale, guys. It's something that they've managed to master, aside from having this COVID-19 psyop. They've made murdering like literally killing innocent individuals legal. Whether it be on frame charges, well, most of the time it's beyond frame charges, because they tried to set me up, stating that I was abusing an elderly woman here in France. It was a big lie, big giant lie. They're just big liars. These are cops and individuals. These are persons they would get to act out. These provocateurs, the social engineers, provocateurs, and they scrape up anyone to carry out their gang stalking and try to provoke you into acting out, Yeah, so they try to label me a monster and fabricated a lot of lies and stolen a lot of things from me. They've stolen my personal belongings, my digital camera, stolen my daughter's identity, user identities, and are making money for themselves with that. Look at them, right? So I like to see myself being on the Truman Show, because aside from all that I'm experiencing with these fraudsters, they're these domestic terrorists, these so-called religious folks that be religiously terrorizing and wreaking havoc in people's lives and trying to separate families and so on and so forth. This is what they be on 24 hours a day, every day. So aside from that, they're using these boats. They have these boats and these drones and their airplanes and their helicopters, and all that they're doing, they can't show any form of decency and compensate their victims. And these people, they don't care whether you have proof or not. They do it anyway because they're big bullies, right? They're big bullies. Just bullies. They place you in a program and they say, well, okay, we're going to get rid of that person because murdering individuals to build up their businesses or to keep their businesses afloat is nothing for them. Nothing for them. You have these companies, these motor companies. You have these supermarkets that are labeling people with these RFID chips as if they're frozen products. You have these giant tech companies also that's benefiting off of us. These airliners, these air cargo companies, they're all benefiting from it. And the ones that are backing them are these religious folks that are carrying out the religious gang stalking, these domestic terrorists. So they place you on a blacklist as if you're a terrorist, and they do as they please to have you disappeared or incarcerated or locked away in a mental institution. Because once you're placed in this program, you start speaking out, they label you as being paranoid schizophrenic. I'm not paranoid and I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not delusional. I know my name. I know my age. And I have a very sound mind because I'm very good at herding my sanity. Okay? And all that they've tried, all these years, nothing have worked. So I guess with all that they've been trying on me, and nothing had worked, they decided, well, okay, it's best we have her killed. So they tried having me killed in these motor vehicle accidents. I survived like 4 motor vehicle accidents here. One in Guyana, in French Guyana, in Kourou, French Guyana. That was a motorbike accident that I had there. And here, when I was living in Le Mans, France, I had like close to 4 vehicle accidents that was provoked by dirty cops. Okay, these are dirty cops that's on my trail. When they can't find ways to frame me, and when their lies ain't working enough, they come up with other means in trying to have me killed and persecuted. They're after my children, so they'll have you chipped with these RFID nanotech that they have, and they'll be tracking you for your children, for your organs. Well, they say it's asset tracking, so they're tracking as if you're an asset to them. And this too is being happening because there's no more petrodollars, right? Okay? Once there's no more oil, it's like you become a resource for them. Like, we're the new oil. Us human beings are being used to make money. We're the new oil money for these corporations. All right? Each and every one of them, these bankers and these religious folks and local government, they don't care. Placing a hit on their citizens isn't gonna do them anything. It's one mouth less to feed, right? That's how they see it. And when you're of color, even though it shouldn't be a racist agenda, it still is. There are a lot of biased folks that's running this program here, and most people that are genuinely targeted are blacks. Okay, so I'm a black woman that's been placed in a eugenics list here in France, and placed to have my organs donated to I don't know whoever. Well, I never signed up for that, and I don't consent to anything. All right. And aside from that, they keep tracking me for my children, calling me a waste mom, a waste eater, useless eater, and trying to prevent me from having a job. I mean, I go into these companies and corporations, and I ask them if I can work, just even to clean glass windows or toilets, and no one wanted to hire me, not a single soul. So I'm here. As much as I keep trying, they're still fighting me every day. For what? Because I haven't done anything to these folks, but they have their ways in making up stuff to have you tracked and harassed because it's beneficial for them. They're benefiting money. They're making their money. They're making their millions off of our backs, and they want to make it look as if you did something to them. As if you're to blame, you know. They make you a victim and then they blame the victim. You know, it's reverse psychology. They like using reverse psychology. you know, and carry out their redundant theatrics wherever they go. That's how it is wherever I go, you know. So once I feel that I'm being targeted and I didn't know where it was coming from, and I started seeking out assistance and was lodged a couple of times by their organizations for, you know, because I was fearful for my life and the life of my children, not knowing that they were the same culprits behind everything. They're the authors of what's happening to me and what has been happening to me. And it's like I walked straight into them without even knowing that I was being experimented on. I leave my good home and everything and went into their seeking assistance within their organization because they were sending people to have me murdered. Me and my children. Can you imagine that? And yet, with all this proof that I have against them, they want to label me as being paranoid schizophrenic. So, who's best to blame? The victims? Perpetrators, that's their tactics. They love using reverse psychology and they enjoy blaming the victims, their victims. This is just what they're good at, nothing else.